here is my latest idol. Actually, you've probably seen his face before on the news. And his name is Oscar Pistorius. He's 25 years old actually. Very, very young. South American person. Most important things of him that you know of course, he's an Olympian. And he actually represents South America. So, sorry, South Africa, I apologize. He actually represents South Africa in this 4x100 sprints. Not that he actually won that really matters. It's the fact that he put himself through training every day. Training that's well beyond what you can think of, even if you're fully functional with both legs. Double empathy right here. And that's his reality since he was 11 months old. He was born with a case without any bones from the knee down, and the doctor has to amputate his both legs. And from my point of view, I think that people like that, disabled people, they actually have a psychological advantage in life. Because for us, we took everything for granted. Everything. For them, there's nothing called disability. The only thing about disability is a bad attitude in life. And today I want to talk about psychological barrier. And just make it a little bit more relevant to everybody. I would imagine every one of you guys, somewhat point in time, actually had or even has dreams. And by show of hands, just how many of you guys actually have dreams and still has dream or had dream before? Well, I think those people, that's very good, very good. But what are these dreams? Can any of you guys share with me? It's something that's very simple as I want to be an amateur musician or a chef, or just as simple as I just want to learn how to swim, or I just want to learn how to roller skate. What are they? Just tell me something, just yell it out. Anyone?
Eat the whole world's food.
That's ambitious. I like that. Watch out for that. Food price my soul after this. For me, actually that was something that is kind of funny, I guess, for most people. I actually wanted to do something that's crazy. But at the same time, before that, I want to talk about what's the meaning of dreams. And I look it up on the dictionary, actually, on World Wide Web. This is what it means. Dream is a realistic or self-dueling fantasy, and typically something that's greatly desired consciously and subconsciously. So it's not really real dream. It's just a fantasy. And for mine, actually, I had a dream for over 10 years when I was young. And starting actually around 14, 15 years old and lasted all the way until I was 24, 25. And that's about losing weight. Yeah, I know, it sounded very superficial. Now that she's on right now, I don't look too heavy. But when I was young, I was actually quite heavy. I was always right around 180, 170, 180 pounds, and I peaked at 190 almost, okay? This is me. Can't really see the light. It's about, I would say 7 years ago or so, 7 or 8 years ago. That's probably right around the heaviest I was. That's why I didn't even want to stand up at that time. I just want to sit down. And at that point I developed this psychological barrier that because I always tried to lose weight and that never happened. And after a while you just keep thinking, oh, maybe that's just not going to happen. But just so you know, that actually happened to me. As you can see me right now, this is the person. Okay? I overcome my psychological barrier. And that's 30 pounds. It's substantial, actually. So, just get back into the topic. What is psychological barrier? Psychological barrier is actually a self-imposing belief. Let's just make an example. If you want to learn how to ride a bike, but you you keep thinking that, hey, you can, right? But, or you know you're gonna fall. And you fall, and you never want to do it again. That's one style of self-imposing belief. Second style, which is mostly our style of losing motivation, is you try to learn how to ride a bike, you fall once, the cycle starts over again. You give it another shot, you give it another shot, you give it another shot. Usually by the third time you say, you know what, maybe I'm just not meant to learn how to ride a bike. And that's the self-imposing belief. And that is a problem, because the longer you stay in that state of self-imposing and self-limiting belief, the deeper it roots into your core value as a person. And it has to take something so dramatic, such as passion, something that you're so passionate in your life, to bring yourself out of it. So, what is that one passion that I found actually through this guy doing this? This is actually my best friend from college. And he posed a challenge while we were in Turkey through a justification. He said, let's do a half Ironman. For anyone that who did not know what a half Ironman or Ironman is, it's actually a triathlon race. And I'll explain a little bit more later. And this is the person that actually started my journey of realizing my self-imposing belief. Okay? So what is an Ironman? I told you I'll tell you. You swim 2.6 miles, which is about 3.8 kilometers, and then you bike 112 miles, which is about 180 kilometers, and you do a marathon, 26.2 miles, 42 kilometers, and total to be 140.6 miles. And this is all done in one day, and you do it one after the other. And professional takes about 8 hours to finish. And normal people takes about 14, actually I would say about 10 to 14 hours. You can take up to 17 hours to finish. The cutoff line is at 12 o'clock at night, and you start at 7 o'clock in the morning to start that race. Okay, so half of that, obviously I wasn't that crazy at that time, was 70.3, which is still a substantial amount of time that you actually on the bike or swimming in the water and actually run on the road. And when you were actually doing something that is dramatic, like an event like this could take forever to train. And this was my training regimen. So twice a day, sometimes there are twice a day trainings, and then 3 days of one a day training, and then break training. So overall, it's about 10 to 15 hours of training per week. That's almost like a part-time job. And at that time, I didn't even think about losing weight anymore. I was just so passionate about something in my life. As endurance sport is something that I can challenge myself on a daily basis. Every time I'm out there, it's not like I'm a very gregarious, not a gregarious person. I love going out and talking to people, but when I'm on the road, there's something different. You are on your own, and no one cares about you. You don't care about anyone else around you. And this is the result of it. Because I was so passionate about this sport, I just scream at everybody that trying to waste time. Because for me, 15 hours is all I need to do this sport, and that is actually a lot when you have to work 60 hours a week. So for me, I find some passions towards endurance sports, and by that, I was actually able to drop substantial amount of weight, and over 30, almost 30 pounds actually. I learned about how to deal with pain, learn about deal with setback, and more importantly, the breakdown of a broken body. I hurt myself many times, and my broken mindset if I didn't do so well in that day of training. You learn to have that optimistic mindset after a while. And the most important thing of all is to stretch that boundary. That boundary is impossible sometimes, as you might think. For me, 70.3, it took me six and a half hours sometimes to finish it. So, I guess at the end of the day, this is what I really wanted to tell tell you, I don't really want to speak in a very logical tone anymore. In fact, I'm just going to take a seat right here. I think triathlon is something that beyond a sport for me. It's no longer just a sport. It's an idealistic lifestyle. And you just have to love it after a while because you spend so much time in it and it's all about yourself. And it breaks me down, it broke me down actually so many times, physically and mentally, and you build me back up. I've become stronger than I've ever thought about, and I've become more confident than I've ever been in my life. And that's something even more important is that it provides me an avenue for me to break down that particular psychological barriers that I always have it in myself that I cannot lose weight. Well, it could be something else for you guys. And lastly, I think the most important thing for me is to give me that time to think about what exactly do I want in life and give me the sense of what can I possibly achieve. Maybe I can achieve a lot more than I ever imagined. And all I need is that hope. Because ladies and gentlemen, hope is so, you can't measure it. It's so potent. It's so potent. Because that's all we need to keep us moving every day forward. And I hope that you actually find a passion in your life and you break down your own psychological barriers. Thank you.
Cavan reaching point 10 is really a milestone, okay? And I'm glad to present a certificate of achievement, Company Communicator Award to Cavan.